Mark chapter 9. Now, I've already read most of this, but then I wanted to press pause to blow my noggin, and I pressed the stop button. So now I'm have to do the video over because I'm using my phone camera. Yeah, I know. Okay. Jesus' appearance is changed. After 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John with him. He led them up a high mountain. They were all alone. There in front of them, his appearance was changed. His clothes became so white they shone. They were whiter than anyone in the world could bleach them. Elijah and Moses appeared in front of the two of them. Oh, I already messed up. See? Elijah and Moses appeared in front of Jesus and his disciples. The two of them were talking with Jesus. It was that easy. I couldn't do that. Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, is it good for us to be here? Let us put up 3 shelters. One will be for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." But Peter didn't really know what to say because they were so afraid. Then a cloud appeared and covered them. A voice came from the cloud, and it said, "This is my son, and I love him. Listen to him." I want to hear that cloud. They looked around. Suddenly, they no longer saw anyone with them except Jesus. They came down the mountain. On the way down, Jesus ordered them not to tell anyone what they had seen. He told them to wait until the Son of Man had risen from the dead. So they kept that matter to themselves, but they asked each other what rising from the dead meant. Then they asked Jesus, "Why do the teachers of the law say that Elijah has to come first?" Jesus replied, "That's right, Elijah does come first. He makes all things new again. So why is it written that the Son of Man must suffer much and not be accepted? I tell you, Elijah has come. They have done to him everything they wanted to do. They did it just as it is written about him." Jesus heals a boy who is controlled by an evil spirit. When Jesus and those who were with him came to the other disciples, they saw a large crowd around them. The teachers of the law were arguing with them. When all the people saw Jesus, they were filled with wonder, and they ran to greet him. "What are you arguing with them about?" Jesus asked. The man in the crowd answered, "Teacher," he said, "I brought you my son. He is controlled by evil spirit." Yeah, I can feel the air coming out. Please don't do this. "Because of this, my son can't speak anymore. When the spirit takes hold of him, he throws him to the ground. He foams out the mouth. He grinds his teeth." Basically a seizure, it sounds like. "And his body becomes stiff. I asked your disciples to drive out the spirit, but they couldn't do it." "You unbelieving people," Jesus replied, and I'm sure he said it gently. "How long do I have to stay with you?" Well, if we had our way, but we wouldn't be saved, so. "How long do I have to put up with you?" Ouch. "Bring the boy to me." So they brought him. As soon as the spirit saw Jesus, it threw the boy into a fit. It fell to the ground. He rolled around and foamed in the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, "How long has he been like this?" "Since he was a child," he answered. "The spirit has often thrown him into the fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us. Please help us." "If you can," said Jesus. "If you can?" Everything is possible for one who believes. Right away, the boy's father cried out, "I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief." Have any of you actually said that? Help me overcome my unbelief, because sometimes we have doubts. Sometimes when we're not getting answered prayers, we ask ourselves a lot of questions. Jesus saw the crowd was running over to see what was happening. Then he ordered the evil spirit to leave the boy. "Your spirit that makes him unable to hear and speak," he said, "I command you, come out of him. Never enter him again." The spirit screamed. It shook the boy wildly. Did I say boiled? The boy wildly. Then it came out of him. The boy looked so lifeless that many people said, "He's dead." But Jesus took him by his hand. He lifted the boy to his feet, and the boy stood up. Jesus went indoors. Then his disciples asked him in private, "Why couldn't we drive out the evil spirit?" And he replied, "This kind can only come out only by prayer." Amen to that. Jesus speaks a second time about his coming death. They left the place and passed through Galilee. Jesus did not want anyone to know where they were. That was because he was teaching his disciples, and he said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be handed over to men. They will kill him. In 3 days he will rise from the dead." But they didn't understand what he meant, and they were afraid to ask him about it. I would have been the only one asking questions galore, because that's what I do. You guys, who is the most important person? Jesus and his disciples came to a house in Capernaum. There he asked them, "What were you arguing about on the road?" But they kept quiet on the way, and they had argued about which one of them was the most important person. Jesus sat down and called for the 12 disciples to come to him. Then he said, "Anyone who wants to be first must be very last. They must be the servant of everyone." Jesus took a little child and had the child stand among them. Then he took the child into his arms. Imagine being held by him like that. Oh, glory be. He said to them, "Anyone who welcomes one of these little children in my name welcomes me, and anyone who welcomes me also welcomes the one who sent me." Next caption is, "Anyone who is not against us is for us." "Teacher," said John, "we saw someone driving out demons in your name, and we told him to stop because he was not one of us." "Do not stop him," Jesus said, "for no one who does a miracle in my name, can in the next moment say anything bad about me. Anyone who is not against us is for us. What I'm about to tell you is true. Suppose someone gives you a cup of water in my name because you belong to the Messiah. That person will certainly not go without a reward." Wow. Leading people to sin. What if someone leads one of those little ones who believe in me to sin? If they do, it would be better if a large millstone were hung around their neck and they were thrown into the sea. And your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. That basically means take him seriously. It could be better for you to enter God's kingdom with only one hand than to go into hell with two. In hell, the fire never goes out, and your foot causes you to sin. Cut it off. It would be better to enter God's kingdom with only one foot than to have 2 feet and be thrown into hell. If your eye causes you to sin, poke it out. It would be better for you to enter God's kingdom with only one eye than to have 2 eyes and be thrown into hell. In hell, the worms that eat them do not die. The fire is not put out. Here's me thinking, my tongue should be the one thing to go. But then I wouldn't be able to sit here and read to you guys, so. Everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good. But suppose it loses its saltiness. How can make it salty again? Have salt among yourselves and be peace with each other. Yeah, and that's the end of the chapter. Whoa, the time gotten really quickly. It's like 9 minutes and 30 seconds. So, I hope that you enjoyed this chapter. And the next chapter, Jesus teaches about divorce. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going out to lunch with my dad today. See you later, alligator.